Okay, so like I said, we're going to talk about uh, design modeling, some things that are involved in this. And specifically, we're going to talk about things like how to go from two-dimensional shapes to three-dimensional shapes. There's certain types of graphs or graph paper, we call it, that we can use to sketch two-dimensional shapes. And there's certain types of paper that we can use to sketch three dimensions. So we're going to talk about that for a couple of lessons. We're also going to talk about one-point perspective drawings. And then we're going to do some simple stuff with exploded views of three-dimensional objects. You know, like if you take a desk and pick it apart, what does it look like? Okay. Anyway, all I want to talk about today is how do we draw shapes in three dimensions? Specifically, and these are shapes really like pretty simple shapes that involve cubes. And we can use something called isometric dot paper. This is what it looks like. Like normal dot paper, you would have, everything would like form squares, much like graph paper. But because we're drawing in three dimensions, we have to change the dots a little bit. So how do we draw a cube in three dimensions using this type of paper? Well, pick four dots that form a diamond and connect them. Then, from the outside dots, draw two segments down. From the bottom dot of the diamond, draw another one down, and you can see it forming. You can see, hopefully you can see where you finished the segments to connect it, like so. Normally, we don't draw the edges that are hidden. Like when you look at a cube, I mean, like, I don't even have one. I don't have a cube, but I have a box. I mean, if I show you a box like this, there are certain edges you can't see that I could. Like I can see the edge back here. You can't, you guys can't see it. Okay, so we don't sketch it. It's hidden. Sometimes you see them sketched with dashed lines, but that can get a little bit confusing. This is looking at a cube from above. That's one way you can sketch a cube on isometric dot paper. There is another way you could sketch a cube, and that's looking at it from the bottom. Where do you think I would draw my vertical segments if I want to look at it from the bottom? If I look at it from the top, I drew the vertical segments down. If I look at it from the bottom, I draw the vertical segments up and then connect. So that's another way to draw it. So that's kind of looking at it from below. That's how we basically draw a cube using isometric dot paper. But we're going to be drawing more complex shapes made up of several cubes. So all I want to talk about is, okay, let's take the next step. How would you draw two cubes side by side? See if you can do it. There's 6 different ways you could do it. So one way we could draw it is just draw our cube. Usually, most people draw a cube looking at it from above. It's a little bit harder to draw from below. I mean, it's still correct. So I'm going to draw a cube looking at it from above. Well, there's different ways I could add to it. I mean, I could put a block here. I could put a block behind. I could put a block on top. That's why there's different answers. So what we would do, what I would do, and it looks like what many of you did, is you just drew another block, cube, behind it. That would probably be the most basic one. You could have drawn it the other way. Have the block behind, but this side, on the left side. And it would look like that. So you could put them side by side. You could also put one on top of the other. That's still side by side. So you could draw a cube. And then put another cube on top or on the bottom. If you put it on top, you're going to get some segments you're going to have to erase. So if I put it on the bottom, if I say this is the top cube and it's sitting on another one, I could draw it like that. All three of these are looking down on the two cubes side by side. You're looking from above and down on them. Here, you're kind of looking from above and to the right, above to the left, above to the right. You could do these three looking below. And I've put those in the notes. You can go to the notes and see them if you want. Okay, but I'll just leave these sketches here for now. So that's all I want to talk about right now. What I would suggest, you don't have to do the entire exercise 5.1, but do a couple of the cube sketches, just so you're used to it. Because the next step we're gonna do is how to go from 3 dimensions to 2 dimensions and then 2 dimensions to 3 dimensions involving cubes. So the figures that we're gonna sketch in 2 dimensions and in 3 dimensions using isometric dot paper are gonna be more complex. So just make sure you're familiar with it.